Hello and welcome to Meadow Brown Bakery. In this video, I will be showing you how to bake a 7-layer Icelandic cake. You will need 2 bowls for this. Put your flour, baking powder and salt in one bowl. And then in the separate bowl, put your softened butter and caster sugar. You will also need ground cardamom seeds and 2 medium eggs. The first step is to cream your butter and sugar together. Mix it until it's nice and smooth. Add in your eggs. Once your eggs have been added in, it's time to add your cardamom. Just add it all in one go and mix. Add the flour in and mix until it reaches a dough consistency. At this stage, it will be quite sticky, so you can't roll it out. So what you need to do is get a piece of cling film and put the mixture on it. Flatten it slightly with a wooden spoon first, and then cover it with the rest of the cling film. And flatten it while it's in the cling film and put it in the fridge to chill. While your dough is chilling, it's time to make the prune jam, which will sandwich the layers together. So in this pot, you need 1 kg of prunes, caster sugar, and 1 teaspoon of cardamom. You will also need some water. Pour your water into the prune mixture and stir until the sugar has dissolved. When your sugar is dissolved, put your prunes on the stove at a medium heat and cover them for about 15 minutes and let them boil. This will soften the prunes so that they're easier to blend. When your prunes have softened, use a hand blender, or if you've got a food processor, you can use that too. Blend your prunes until they're nice and smooth and there are no lumps in it. When your prune jam is nice and smooth, put it to one side. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Get some baking paper and a 23 centimeter round circle. Use this to draw onto the baking paper. This will create a template for when you're rolling out your dough. Once you have done this, get your dough out of the fridge and weigh it. Divide the amount by 7 because you need 7 layers. Roll your dough onto the circle template that we created. If it's sticky, just rub some flour onto the rolling pin and maybe just a tiny bit onto the dough so that it stops sticking onto the rolling pin. When it's fitted into the circle, put it on a tray and bake it in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. You leave your layer on the baking tray for about 2 minutes to give it time to firm up before you remove it from it and peel off the paper and put it on a cooling rack. If you try to move it while it's still hot, it will fall apart. Once you've done that, just repeat the process of baking and cooling them until you have all 7 layers. When you've finished making the layers, it's time for you to assemble the cake. So get your layers, your cooled prune jam, and a serving plate or a cake tray. Put your first layer on a plate and spoon some prune jam onto it, and then spread it with a knife. Go all the way to the edges of the cake. Keep on repeating this until all the layers and the prune jam have been used up. So what you'll notice is we'll start off with the cake layer and end it off with the cake layer. The prune jam is just in between the layers because those layers are like shortbread biscuits and they're very thin. So you can't cut this cake immediately. What you need to do is get some cling film, wrap your cake in it and leave it for a couple of days. I would say maybe 3 days at least, but I leave mine for about a week. After the week, you can unwrap your cake, and then you can sprinkle some icing sugar on it and serve it. You can see when you've cut this cake, it's got some beautiful layers and they're well defined. And it tastes amazing. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. For more videos like this, visit www.meadowbrownbakery.com. You will also find your ingredient amounts on the website. Please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel.